How's it going, friends? Welcome back to another Fallout 76 build guide, and today I got the full health heavy crit gunner for you. I'll also be including the non-PA version of the build, but with that, let's get right to it. Now you can pause the video if you would like, but our special distribution is going to be 10 in strength, 15 perception, 8 endurance, 3 charisma, 4 intelligence, 5 agility, and 11 luck. Now for our perk cards, we are going to be focusing on damage. We have a little bit of utility, but since we are full health, we won't have to worry too much on defenses. But we are going to be using Furious, that gives us advantage of the Onslaught perk cards. Of course, we're going to have our crit setup and our bullet stacks under strength. We're going to further increase our damage using Science and Number Cruncher as well. But with that, let's go ahead and check out our legendary perk cards. Now for all my builds, I like to use maxed out endurance, luck, intelligence, strength, and agility, and the 6th card is up to the player. I like to use take one for the team, especially if I'm playing with other people and not playing solo. As for our weapon, we are going to be using a Furious, faster fire rate, VATS optimized pinpointers, pentabarrel Tesla coil capacitor Gauss minigun. This will be for a low AP cost setup, and of course there is another option that you can do if you want to have a higher AP cost for more damage, and also reduce the amount of limit breaking pieces that you need. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you guys the lower cost setup. Now for our armor, we're going to be using a full set of Vulcan PA, Overeaters, Luck, Through Hikers, and 4 limit breaking pieces and 1 Rangers. Now for anyone who is wondering why Through Hikers when you have the perk cards, it's because you can choose if you want a different 3-star if that's what your preference is. It won't hurt the build in any way. But with that, let's go ahead and check out the damage. So we're going to start off here at the Guardian, but to show you guys what kind of bust we're using, we're going to be running a Big Guns bobblehead, a Tesla 9 magazine, Sweet Mud Fruit Tea, and a Overdrive. Now you can use any kind of crit buff that you want. I know there's a lot of different kinds like Blight Soup. Choose what your heart desires, it doesn't matter. Now, just for anyone that runs or retakes their mutations like I do, just to show you guys that it does not affect our luck, we have 28 luck there, which will allow us to crit every other shot no matter what our setup is. So we're going to go ahead and do that, crack an overdrive, and get this fight started. Now one cool thing about the Guardian fight, just in case anyone didn't know, is that if you're able to manage your health, but also if you're using a VATS build, if you target and VATS the shield, if you take any kind of damage, you're able to actually shoot through it. And it allows you to actually deal a little bit more damage and take out the shield a bit faster if you're running solo. Not only will you be triggering your bullet shield, but you'll also be triggering your reflective if that's what you're using, and also your ricochet, and dealing damage directly to it. But as you guys can see, we are clearly dealing a pretty hefty amount of damage, a few thousand crits, and able to take out the Guardian with no problems at all. Again, this is a full health crit power armor build. And now let's go ahead and check out the damage on the snake. Now I'm going to be honest, this is not any kind of like ultra melting build setup, because I also don't have Revenant, so you can increase the damage further if you wanted to do that instead of Tenderizer. But the damage on its own, if I'm able to get a high VATS hit chance, we're actually able to push out a pretty hefty amount of damage, especially if we are able to get at least 70 plus. I have been considering adding Party Boy Party Girl to also use the Sweetwater Specialty Blend for the higher perception. That will also help with our awareness and VATS hit chance for human builds. Because as a ghoul, you don't really need all that, because it already has other VATS hit chance perk cards that you can use within the build, making your shots more consistent. But as a build that doesn't have access to glow, doesn't have access to nerd rage, or any of those other additional damage, doing a snake solo for about a minute, I believe is our kill time here, is not too bad. It definitely can be faster with the addition of Revenant, but I didn't think about that until just this moment while making the recording. Now if you're more of a group player and you prefer playing with other people, this build is going to do wonders for you, because as you guys just saw that we were able to do a lot of damage solo in the raids, it'll do even more when playing with a group, due to the fact that we have take one for the team on if that's something that you're going to use. Of course, if you don't have that, your other teammates who do have it, if they do, will be able to give you more damage as well. Now, of course, we are using the Gauss minigun, which is one of the strongest weapons we can use in the current season. But of course, if you do prefer other weapons like a flamer for stage 3, the build will work perfectly for it. Or if you want to use like a 50 cal, it will work for it. The build is very versatile when it comes to any heavy guns. It is more gauged towards energy just due to the science, but all you need to do is remove that perk card and you are good to go. But yeah, this is the damage that we have when we are paired with a team. Now, unfortunately for the snake run, it was just all of us, just our raw damage, no take one for the team procs, none of that. It was just us dishing as much damage as we possibly can to take out the danger noodle. Now, for the non-PA version, it is a very simple setup. It is practically identical perk distribution, but instead of having stabilized, you replace 1 point, move it into agility to get evasive, and use that 1 point in intelligence to get first aid. And then instead of using the caps of plenty in luck, you put on serendipity for an extra layer of defense just in case your health gets low. And then everything there is basically identical for the PA setup, and it works just as good and it's just as strong. It's just a little bit less VATS hit chance due to not having stabilized. Now for armor, we're going to be using a full set of overeaters with limit breaking. We're going to be using 3 poisoners and 2 luck rolls. The luck rolls will allow us to use the setup and the build solo if that's what your preference is, and the poisoners is to help for the stage 5. And we're going for the bare minimum, which is 16 luck and having to crit every other shot with limit breaking. Now for our buffs, we are using the Sweet Mudfruit Tea, Big Guns Bobblehead, Tesla 9, and an Overdrive. Now as we deal damage to the shield generator, you can see that we're doing a pretty decent job. Like a lot of that damage is us. And when we're able to actually hit the torso, we're hitting upwards to 2,000 per crit. Now unfortunately, I don't think anybody in our team had take one for the team on, as far as I'm aware, which is why our damage didn't go up any higher than what it was. But as you can see, we were able to easily clear it as a non-PA crit build. Now when it comes to stage 3, it gets a little bit rough. No matter what build I've ran so far, I tend to die the most from Vulture, only due to double staggering. In most cases, if I get staggered out in the open, he'll follow up with another shot or two, which will eventually take me out. But if I'm able to survive and deal some damage, we can easily burn through him. Just like the rest of the Enclave soldiers here in stage 3. Now for stage 5, if you guys wanted to add a little bit more survivability towards your character's poison resistance, you could put on Funky Duds instead of take one for the team. But that is the dealer's choice, whatever your heart desires. But with our current setup and buffs, we are able to crit for a couple thousand damage, which is very nice for a non-PA setup. The only downside again is just our VATS hit chance is fairly low, which means our crits aren't hitting as often as it should. But just like that, we're able to clear out the snake with no issues. But that about covers it, guys. I hope you guys found the information useful. If you did, please consider subscribing. Let me know in the comments, and if you guys have any questions, let me know as well. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. As always, thank you so much for watching. Happy hunting, good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next one.